start this session.
Hmm.
Okay. So, hope you can see the screen now.
Yes, sir. There is a black screen and an arrow.
So, can you see the screen now?
I can see something. There is an arrow. That's all I can see. If it is actually the screen you're talking about, I do not know.
No. So,
Yes.
uh, so mainly we will be going through some of the charts that I have finalized. So there are actually many charts that I have actually gone through in my last 10 years of studies, or what all the case studies that I have taken so far. So among those, I
Yes,
have
sir.
finalized some 10, 12 charts that I will be taking today, and a few of them are like one of them is actually a cat topper. So he got 100 percentile in cat, and then he later on joined
Okay.
XLRI. So one of them is that, and a few of them are from IIMs. Few of them are from who did their masters from IIT. So these are the things that I will be
Okay.
discussing today, and also from a few of the celebrities. So let us start with the first one. So let me take first example this. So this person
Hmm.
is from one of the college of mm, Kolkata actually. So Bengal Engineering and Science University, which was later upgraded to Indian Institute of Engineering, Science and Technology. So he did his
Okay.
engineering from there. He passed out in 2012, and he did it in computer
Hmm.
science. And
Hmm.
in that in the year 2011, he appeared for CAT, and there he got some 99.4 percentile. So this person has
Okay.
been good in his studies throughout, and uh, recently he reappeared for CAT because he was taking sessions on CAT and how to crack all the sections of CAT like Quant and DI or others.
Hmm.
So he was actually mentoring many students, and previous year when he
Hmm.
appeared for CAT he got 100 percentile. Uh,
Oh.
okay. So this is his chart, and let us discuss and understand that what actually made him so bright and accessing so many information at the same time.
So you're not audible right now. You say.
So is my voice breaking?
No, no, it is all right. Now it is fine.
Okay, okay, okay. So let us discuss this. So, if we, people who have seen my last class, I've discussed there that if sun and moon are exactly opposite to each other, then the person is born near to full moon or Purnima. And people who are born near to
Okay.
Purnima, for them, the capacity of absorbing things is quite higher compared to normal crowd. So let's say a person or a class, if having a larger number of people with uh, who are born near to Purnima, they will have larger capacity to absorb information and to process them. So it actually broadens up your mind. So first prerequisite is that
Okay.
you should have a good mind to accept or absorb all the information that is there. So for that, the first prerequisite is there that he was born near to Purnima. Sun and moon are exactly opposite to each other.
So I think your voice is breaking now. A little bit.
I am. I didn't get you.
Okay, yeah. No, your voice is breaking a bit. Your voice is breaking a bit.
Okay, okay, okay. Got it. Okay.
I know. I got it that he was born near to Purnima, and those born near to Purnima have a greater capacity to absorb information and process them, and it
Mm-hmm.
broadens their mind. This is what I got.
Okay.
I didn't get what you said after that.
Okay. So I was saying till then only, and so that was the first thing that you should look at, and after that, let us look at some more things as
Hmm.
well. So, as I also said that second house. So this will be your second house, fourth house, fifth house, and ninth house. So if moon is associated with any of these houses or placed in any of these houses, so actually this gives the implication or the significance of those house to moon. So the person would be more towards absorbing thing, towards learning, towards reading more books. In that way, he will also have a better reading capacity or capability. His reading skills would be uh, much more than other people. So in that way, also
Hmm.
it helped him. Moon placed in the fourth house, first, second good thing. Also, when you look at the chart,
Hmm.
so Mercury is placed in the 10th house and in this own sign. So Gemini is the sign for Mercury and it is placed in the own sign. And this is one of the very good yoga to be formed actually. So Lord of Ascendant also at the same time
Okay.
going to 10th house and it has the highest level. So any planet being placed in 10th house is actually very good. Jupiter is actually something which loses
Hmm.
its strength in 10th house for some reason. But apart from that, and also Sun being conjunct with Mercury and Mercury in its own house, it's actually very good. So the management skills or the communication skills that mainly comes from Mercury and Jupiter is also a part of this conjunction. So it actually amplifies the good results of this conjunction and it
Hmm.
actually benefited him. So
Okay.
this and also Saturn is there. So Saturn and Moon, the conjunction is also good in some respect. So if I say if a person has to make a deep dive analysis of something or has to understand something in depth, so Moon and Saturn conjunction works uh, great. Actually, works better than any other conjunction you can think about. So that is also a good thing that helped him. So the
Okay.
only problem is that so actually Mars is not considered to be a good planet for this Virgo ascendant, and it's placed in your own house. So in a way, if you look at it, the person is quite thin. Has actually you'd say there is no fat and no muscle, nothing. A bit of skeleton,
Okay.
and that is covered with skin. So
Okay.
so actually, what I've seen that if Mars is placed in the own house, then it actually enhances the metabolism of that person. So
Okay.
that person is likely to be quite thin, more thinner than
Okay.
normally what you would see. So
Okay.
this is the trend that I've seen for most of the people who had Mars in Aries sign.
Okay.
And let us see what was the dasha that he was going through at that time. So like I said, let me go to that part. Yeah. Getting into an engineering college, for that I have also discussed a prerequisite that Venus and Rahu Dasha you must be going through. So this person was going through Venus Mahadasha at that time. So till 2000, he joined in 2008. So till 2000, from 91 to 2011, he was going through Venus Dasha, and in 2008 he got admission. So one
Hmm.
thing is actually, he's eligible for that to getting admission. And second thing is, when he actually he appeared in 2011. So at that time he was going to Sun and Moon Dasha. So uh, as you can see, 10 is more repeated. So 10 actually means good name, good status, good recognition. And
Hmm.
here in Moon, you can see 10 and 11 both are there at the same time. So 10 and
Hmm.
11, when it comes together, that means the effect of 11 is amplified. So more gain,
Okay.
more recognition from people, more people would be knowing it. You'd be reaching out to, you will be known by many more people. So in a way, very good. So this was the
Okay.
time when he appeared for his CAT examination and results were declared around this time. So Mars actually has the same combination as well. 10, 11 also getting repeated here. So same thing.
Hmm.
So the person has ability, and at the same time, when you look at this coordinates.
These these 10, 11 are the houses in which the planets were at that time.
No, these are actually the coordinates of the planet. So this is actually casted in a different way. So let's say, for example, Moon has 3 and 11. So when you
Hmm.
look at the Bhauchali chart, Moon is
Hmm.
actually placed in the third house and it is Lord of the 11th house. So
Hmm.
Moon is related to 3 and 11. So 3 and 11 comes down here. Similarly, if
Okay.
I look at Jupiter, so Jupiter is actually Lord of this Sagittarius 4th house and this 7th house, but it is placed in 10th house. So 4,
Hmm.
7, 10. So these are the coordinates of that planet, and
Hmm.
this is actually its nakshatra. So Jupiter is placed in the nakshatra of Jupiter and sub-lord
Hmm.
of Venus. So
Hmm.
this is actually how you take it. So star lord is actually nakshatra, and sub lord is the subdivision of that nakshatra.
Okay.
So this is how that coordinates, as you can see, nadi coordinates. So coordinates are actually calculated in this way. So few people take sub lord as to be the significator or the major significator, or which actually impacts the most. I feel that till star lord you must be seeing. I think
Huh.
sublord doesn't make much of the impact, but few people have that perception that sublord makes a better impact more than starlord. So in my practice, what I
Okay.
found that till considering from planet coordinates of planet
Hmm.
and starlord make
Hmm.
more sense than considering sublord.
Hmm.
So mm, and one more thing that if sublord doesn't negate the effects, or if suppose star lord and planet are showing some combination, and if sublord is not negating that, then you should look for only
Hmm.
planet and star lord. If sublord is
Okay.
negating that, then the somewhat the effect of these two will be bit nullified to some extent.
Okay.
So that is what I
Okay.
have seen. So for my consideration, I feel that uh, you should consider planet and star lord for most of the time. At
Hmm.
some stage, looking at sublord would help, but it hasn't helped me till now. So let us
Okay.
go back to the chart. So
Hmm.
10, 11, very good combination. Again here for Mars as well. So in Mars, so results were declared somewhere around in January, and that was when he was going through his Mars dasha, Sun and Mars,
Huh.
and he did
Huh.
extremely well. He was
Huh.
known for the tremendous result that he, or the best result that he did from the entire college. So he was known by the entire college at that time. And
Hmm.
recently, when you see in 2000, yeah, so results were declared somewhere around for last year 2016. It was declared in this year January, and then
Hmm.
he was going through Moon Dasha, and Moon again signifies 1011. So this time he was
Hmm.
famous in the entire India for getting 100 percentile in CAT.
Hmm.
So this person, so let me tell you what he did. He passed out from his engineering from BESU or IEST. After that, he joined Acceleri because his SAT score was much better. And after passing out
Huh.
Acceleri, he uh, worked with Cognizant, and also during its past leisure time, he actually takes up classes for CAT. So he's working in the company, and at the same time, he's teaching students for who are aspiring for MBA or CAT or ZAT examinations.
Okay.
And this is how it is going till now. So this was about the first case. So let me move on to the next
Hmm.
one.
Hmm.
So this is again the same person. This person is actually batchmate of the person or the chart which I showed you earlier. So this person was from electronics
Hmm.
batch, and the person earlier to this was from computer science. This person actually
Huh.
worked a bit lesser compared to the previous one, and he got results better than him. This
Okay.
person got some 99.6 percentile and he got into IIM Indore.
Okay.
So again the same trend. Exactly the same trend you can observe here as well. Sun is placed in the 10th house, which is house of glory, fame, recognition, and Moon is in the house of studies.
Opposite.
And
It is opposite
again,
to that also. Yes.
both are opposite to each other. Same trend I've
Yes.
seen here as well. So
Hmm.
that is what I thought of, that this person has done it quite effortlessly. The
Hmm.
uh, score that he got and the
Hmm.
way he cracked the interview, he did it quite effortlessly because his natural capacity or the capability is so high that he can do those things quite effortlessly.
Okay.
And also, I had a personal discussion with him that how actually you cracked CAT, how much time you actually took to prepare. So he said that he completed it within 2 months. So it was only 2 months that it required him to crack, and
Okay.
better than the rest of the entire country. So he got, and getting
Hmm.
99.6 is quite difficult.
Yes. Yes.
He passed out from IIM Indore in 2014, and after that he moved to Singapore. I think, yeah, currently he's in Singapore. So let us look into the coordinate chart as well, and let us understand. So 10,
Hmm.
10th house is a house for your name, fame, recognition, your social status, and 6th house is house for
Hmm.
your hard work. Your hard work, your employment, and the things that you do mainly deals with
Hmm.
employment. So now when sixth house and 11th house are combined, so in a coordinate, if you're finding 6, 11 like this, so it actually means
Hmm.
something
Hmm.
more. So it actually gives more status or fame or recognition than 10, 11. So this person was going through Mercury Dasha at that time, and he had 6, 11 in here. That was towards the sublord, but 10 from above as well. So power of 6, 10, and at the same time 10. So as you can see in Bhauchali chart, Venus is in 11th house, and Venus is also the lord of 6th house and placed in the 11th house. So this has actually helped him a lot. This specifically this yoga, and also Mercury having the sublord of Venus. In this case, I found that sublord working quite well, and also there is no planet which nullifies the effect of 9, 11. So at that time it works, but sometimes I find it quite conflicting. So here you can see 9, 6, 11 works quite tremendously well. And also as a personality, if you see, quite a good personality, quite a good communicator. Uh, Also Saturn and Mars. So Saturn is aspecting the 10th house, and Mars is also aspecting ascendant. So they have a mutual aspect, and this means that this actually makes person more application oriented. That mind will be, or the aptitude of that person will be more towards problem solving, and uh, having a better aptitude towards number crunching, and coming out with a better solution. So let me take one more example here. Now about this person, he passed out in 2014 from electronics and communication, same college,
Hmm.
was part of the same college, and uh, he his rank in West Bengal joint entrance was somewhere within somewhere around 550. Uh, So what I came to know from this chart actually that for some time before his class ninth and eighth, he was not so good in his studies, but later on he did quite well. So when you look at this chart, first of all, Saturn, the fourth lord, is placed in its own house. So this makes your mind quite steady,
Hmm.
steady towards working,
Hmm.
and Moon in the ascendant. So in my previous sessions, I've discussed that the best place for Moon is in the ascendant.
Hmm.
That makes you control your
Hmm.
mind and makes you adaptable to any situation that you're facing, open to any situation,
Okay.
and uh, quite adjustable to anything. So that is the best position for Moon. And as an overall personality, if you see, it is always more good to have Moon in the ascendant compared to in the fourth house. Fourth house is good when compared to studies and having a uh, mm, focused mind, but in overall aspect, I would say having Moon in the ascendant would be a better thing or a better placement for Moon. So the
Okay.
same thing, Sun in the 10th house gave him lot of fame. So what happened
Hmm.
is he was performing quite decently in his entire 3 years, but in his fourth
Hmm.
year he got the best job offer in the campus. He got the job offer
Hmm.
from Texas Instrument, and which offered him a package of
Hmm.
some 11 lakhs. So that was the best placement that he got,
Okay.
and not being a topper actually. He wasn't the topper for
Hmm.
any of the semester.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
let us understand that what was the change actually all about, and where did the change happen?
Hmm.
So he joined college in 2010 around. So as I said earlier,
Hmm.
Rahu should be there while your admission. So he was having the Mahadasha of
Hmm.
Jupiter and Antardasha of Rahu, and he joined
Hmm.
college in July around yeah, July 2010, and his
Okay.
Jupiter Dasha ended somewhere there. And since then his Saturn Dasha
Hmm.
started. Now note one more thing, that his Mercury Dasha,
Hmm.
Saturn Mahadasha and Mercury Antardasha started somewhere when the placement happened. So it was in his, so this time was in around his seventh semester. At this time he was in
Hmm.
around his seventh semester, and then actually that company came for the recruitment, and he did
Hmm.
outperformed everyone in the college.
Hmm.
Now let us look at the
Hmm.
coordinates as well. Again the same thing. Saturn Mahadasha and Saturn is having 10-11. A
Hmm.
wonderful thing to have.
Okay.
So
Yes.
that actually made a uh, unexpected transition in his life. At 10,
Hmm.
11, all of a sudden he uh, out uh, outperformed everyone, even the toppers.
Hmm.
And also, if you look at other charts, even these are good. So 10, 6, 10 everywhere, and 10, 11
Yes.
also scattered through. But yeah, it is there.
No, here the this Saturn Mahadasha and Mercury Antardasha when the
Hmm.
placements were happening.
Yeah, correct.
Is does this Mercury Antardasha is
Hmm.
all that mattered and the hard work of 4 years didn't matter? I mean, this what this did this add to? Did this add to the luck or what?
So let me explain you. So there is a actually understanding of the dasha is somewhat like when the Mahadasha and the Antardasha both are same. For example, when he was going to Saturn Mahadasha and Saturn Antardasha, then the results or the impact won't be that significant or that high. So it would actually put the track or lay the path for you to actually achieve something, but it won't be actually fulfilling in all sense. So you won't be getting as high results as you have expected, but at the same time that efforts will be on keep going, or efforts will, you have to keep in all the efforts that you need to. But only thing was that this Mercury Dasha, when Antar Dasha changed, so actually what happens when your Mahadasha Lord is actually signifying very good, something very good and something very auspicious in life, at that time if some Antardasha
Mm.
comes of a different planet, then that effects
Mm.
get amplified, get
Okay.
that could be around some many times that amplification happens. So that was the main reason. So till then he was quite steady with
Okay.
his work, everything was going quite okay, but this change that
Mm.
made a sudden impact in his life.
Okay.
And also, I predicted for him that it was in Ketu Dasha that he left his job and joined some other company. So, in Ketu Dasha, for most of the people, I've seen that they leave their current job and join somewhere else. And the same thing happened for him as well.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, so let me take one more example.
There's one more thing. One more thing.
Mhm.
Okay. Can we have that chart back? I mean that under the chart back. So yes, in this one, when Mercury is from 2013 to 2016,
Mhm.
in that there's a sudden and a positive and fortunate change in his life.
Mhm.
So in that period of his life,
Mhm.
anything he chooses to do is
Mhm.
going to bear very good fruits compared to other times.
No, actually, what happens is not other times, but I would say from where he actually began, from where he actually started from. So, if you compare from that, so I would say
Hmm.
this entire Saturn Dasha is good. Entire 19 years are good for him. But specifically,
Hmm.
when you look at the Dasha change, when you look at the Mercury Dasha, this was
Hmm.
no, better than compared to what he has faced in Saturn or what he has experienced there. So Saturn was also good,
Okay.
Saturn Mahadasha and Antardasha, but Mercury was better than it. So I can only talk about that. And one more thing, when he will be moving to Sun Dasha, this 20 to 21, this will be extremely good, even more than
Okay.
we would have expected.
Okay.
So I won't say Mercury was best, but was better than the
Hmm.
previous one.
Better than the previous one in this Mahadasha.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So let me look at some other charts as well. So this is a chart of mm, so, somebody has arrived or okay. Sure. So as you can see, the date of birth is quite recent. So this person, child is only 12 years of age. So I've taken this chart to actually explain you something. So when he was around 5 years of age, I've told his mother that he will be a school topper, or at least if not school topper, then he will be a topper among his section. So what
Okay.
made me said that? So let me explain you here what is happening. So when you see all the Kendra houses, first house,
Hmm.
fourth house, seventh house, and 10th house, so all of them are occupied. So first lord is occupying the first house and seventh lord in the seventh house. So this is a good thing,
Okay.
and also there is an exchange between fourth house and 10th house. This is again a good thing. And also moon in the fourth house. Again, I have said moon in the fourth house is very good for your studies. From studies perspective, it will be very good. And also when you look at the position of sun, it is not exactly opposite, but yes, somewhat near to uh, full moon. Somewhat near to, not exactly, but at the same time, I would say the
Okay.
capacity of this moon would be a bit higher of this type. So for this reason,
Okay.
for all the very good alignments that he has, so on
Yes.
basis of this, I said that he will do extremely good in his studies.
Okay.
He will be a very good student. And actually, this is what happened. So when he was in his class 5 and 6, so he did very well. He was among top 3 students of his class, and he he has been performing consistently throughout his primary schools, and now he is in class 7, so he's also doing quite well. One more prediction I've made for him, that he will be taking up science stream, but when he will be going to prepare for his JEE entrance examination or medical entrance, at that time there will be a break. So after class 12 he might have a year of break or so, uh, for his uh, entrance exam preparation. So the reason for that is, currently he's in class 7. So in 2017 he's in 7, and in 8 he will be going to 8. So in 2020 he will be in class 10, and 21 he will be moving to class 11. So in 23, if you see, he will be passing his class 12, and ideally he should be going to his college in 23, but I don't see any dasha of Rahu or Venus in this period.
Uh,
Instead
mm,
there is a Ketu dasha in between. So Ketu dasha in
mm,
between, which shows that there will be a break for some time, and next year if you see 2024, he will be going through his Venus dasha, so Mars Mahadasha and Venus Antardasha. For that reason I told that he might have a break, and he might not get admission to a college the same year he passes from class 12. It would take him a year to uh, so pass out from 12 and join college. So that might be a year
and
of
if
break.
he and
And
if he even after this, if he decides to join a college, it will be below his expectations. I mean,
no,
it will be below what he paid for.
no, I don't think that he will be joining, because this combination doesn't show anything for joining. Because if I
Okay.
let's say I've seen many of the charts, I have not seen any of them that they're getting below expectation or something like that. But yeah, if there is a dasha of Ketu uh, in between, after just after joining, either they join the college or they leave immediately. So let's say what happened is, suppose I have joined a college for some time, uh, and I have not got
Hmm.
a college of my expectation. I've studied for a 1 semester or so, and then I decided that I will be moving to some other college, or I'll be preparing for my entrance examination again, so that I get into a better college. So this is also a possible situation. But
Okay.
yeah, I think that that year, if even if he joins a college, that won't be a stable one.
Okay.
So just looking at the so here I haven't looked at the coordinates. I have only looked at the entry alignments and the dasha. So this all are actually
Hmm.
self-explanatory, and once you start reading this, you actually get a lot of idea, and once you can start connecting the dots, the picture is entirely clear what is going to. And also when you look at the chart, so currently he's going to moon dasha, which is actually quite steady and quite cool and composed and soothing. But once he get into his Mars dasha,
Hmm.
which is actually so Mars is placed in his 10th seventh house, seventh lord placed in the seventh house, so he will
Hmm.
be quite aggressive with his studies. He will be quite aggressive with his approach, and he will be quite aggressive with whatever he will be doing. So after 19th, so when he gets into his class 9, 9-10 will be quite good for him.
Hmm.
And uh, just see the timing. In 2021 he will be
Hmm.
getting his class 10th results, and at that time he is going
Hmm.
through his Jupiter dasha. So
Hmm.
in this Jupiter dasha the results will be very good, even more than he would have expected. He might even be a school topper. But at the same time, when you look at the next dasha, Saturn, so Saturn comes in. So one
Hmm.
thing you must have noticed that most of the science student, what happens is if you come from a science background, so till class 10 they
Hmm.
do very well, and once they get into class 11, they are not able to cope up with the speed or the syllabus of science. So what we have been taught in class 10 and what we are seeing in class 11 is quite different, completely. There is a huge difference between that, and people find it very difficult to cope up at that stage. So again, the same thing I'm seeing here as well. A difficult dasha at a crucial time. So he might face issue at that time, or might face
Hmm.
issue with understanding things. So,
Hmm.
so this was about this chart. Let me move to one more. So I have one more person. He was my classmate. He got into I am Rachi. So let me. Okay. So uh, okay, just a minute. So how long you will you 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
I cannot continue today.
Okay, okay, no issues, no issues. So okay, okay. So let me carry on with this chart. So this is actually chart of one of my friend. So uh, so here you cannot see any signs or any pattern for being a class topper. But this person was also one of the toppers. He was from West Bengal board, and he actually got 96 percentile in percent in class 10, and it is very difficult to get such high percentage in state board exams, especially in West Bengal board. And he was a school topper then. So one thing, when you see Moon and Saturn conjunction here, so this is good for deep analysis, but also at the same time a person gets into deeper of everything and start cursing people who he dislike. So that is the issue with it. But at the same time, when you look at the entire chart, the best thing about here is uh, there is an exchange between third house and ninth house. So Bhagya and his efforts are, uh, exchange have exchanged their houses, and Jupiter is aspecting this exalted Venus and debilitated Mercury. So luck wise, he is extremely lucky, I would say. He has been extremely lucky in whatever he does. He gets everything in at the first go. He hasn't had any hurdle in his life. Everything has was a cakewalk for him, and with respect to his abilities. And he appeared for Cat in 2014, I think. Mm, 14, if I remember. Oh, sorry, in 15, actually in 15 and 16 the results got out, and that year he got 97 percentile in CAT, and he got into I am Rachi. So next year he will be passing out, and uh, when you look at the entire chart, so Sun is the most, the best thing in this chart. Exalted Sun in the 10th house, and if you see the Digbal or the Shadbal of Sun, that will be more. Shadbal would be twice of what a normal person would require. So main thing I find very good in this chart is that luck factor that has always been supporting. And when I look at the coordinate part, he was actually going through his Jupiter Mahadasha and Sun Antardasha when he cleared the CAT exam. And in Sun, you can see 611 combination is there. So getting uh, a good score in any competitive exam, beating your competitors or winning a court case, if that happens in a 611 dasha, that is extremely good for you. That will be a cakewalk for you. So he did badly in all other exams, but did well in only CAT. So in a way, everything has fallen at place for him just to suit his purpose. And for him, I predicted that he will be doing very good in this campus placement season. So he will be getting a very good job. And let's see what happens. The reason for that is the coordinates that he is going through at the moment is very good, and I expect him to get a very good job this season. So let's see what happens. So moving on, let me take one more example here. Okay. So this time, so this is chart of one of the celebrity which I like the most. A perfect example to uh, uh, or how a yogi should behave, or how a yogi looks like. When I look at this person, this actually gives me a clear indication how ideally a yogi should be. And this is chart of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, MSD. So, like I said earlier, so the main symptoms or how you can spot a yogi is that person would have mind under his control. He won't panic even under the most severe circumstances. He could keep his cool, and also performance would be quite steady even in the worst scenario. So no matter how much pressure this person be in, he will be performing in the same way. So that comes actually with moon in the ascendant. So as I said, most of the leaders will have moon in the ascendant. Same thing for Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Even Rahul Dravid has moon in the ascendant. Previous captain we had, even for Hitler also. So first thing, and also this person hasn't had any uh, management studies or management related courses. But see, when you see how well he applies in the field, or how well he reacts to the situation, you'd find him one of the most better managers than you could have seen. So the reason being, Mercury placed with Sun. So Buddhaditya Yoga in 10th house and Mercury placed in the own house. This again is very good combination, and Sun in the 10th house actually uh, gives strength to the Sun. It is best placement for Sun, for anyone to have their Sun in this 10th house. Jupiter in the ascendant makes a person very well behaved, very sober, very kind hearted. Uh, Moon and Jupiter together, so that makes your mind quite steady. So you not react or overreact to any situation. You have a steady mind, and you don't uh, you know get into any trouble with so if say someone is sledging or someone is misbehaving on field, so this person won't react at all of a sudden. This person will have steady mind. So moon and Jupiter, let me explain you in a certain way. So let's say moon is like a river or flowing water. So what will happen is, if you don't boundary it, or there are landscapes which surrounds that portion of water, that water will always be flowing. And if you have landscapes all around that, then that place would become a lake. So the same thing happens with moon conjunction with other planets. So if moon is not there in conjoined or placed with any other planet, so the mind will always be uh, processing something, some thought or the other, or it will be getting in a recursive mode, or that flow won't have any direction. But when moon is there with some other planet like Jupiter, which is considered to be a very good conjunction, in that case moon will have its direction quite steady. Your mind will have a steady direction. So yes, you have just joined in. So let me tell you. So this is chart of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So one of the better charts that I've seen so far.
Okay.
So, and also mm, Saturn is also there. So Saturn Jupiter conjunction is also considered to be one of the better conjunction. And also when you look at the chart, fifth lord Saturn and seventh lord. So fifth lord is considered to be the house of your relationship and your love. So actually your emotional attachment with someone. And seventh house is considered to be house of marriage. So when fifth lord and seventh lord are conjoined, and after being conjoined, they are aspecting the seventh house or the fifth house. That yoga is ideal for a love marriage. So as you all know, he had a love marriage. Uh, that was due to this conjunction. And also Venus in the uh, 11th house, and Rahu in the. So for all the good batsmen that I've seen so far, the Rahu would be in better position, either in the Upacha house. So it will be either in third house, sixth house, 11th house. These are the ideal position for a good batsman. And also Moon should be in a better position to actually handle a lot of pressure. That gives you a better understanding of the situation and to play accordingly. So Venus here, as you can see, Venus is in a better house and 11th house. So he has everything for his luxuries, and you know that he has an habit, or I would say, uh, mm, mm, to have many bikes. So he has a hobby of keeping more bike. So that comes from Venus in the 11th house, and Venus conjoined with Rahu. So you actually spend for what you are like, uh, what are your likes are. Mars in the ninth house makes a person very friendly. I've come across many people who have Mars either in third house or in ninth house. They are quite friendly. They are very friendly with others, and they always work as a team. So this thing also helped him in an entire way. This chart is very good, extremely good. Let me get into Dasha to explain that what happened actually in his life. So from 2002 to 2005, he was in a bit of struggling mode. If I take that Dasha to be approximately correct. So not in 2005, but yeah, towards the late part of it till 2004. Mm, Towards the end of 2004, so he did not get chance anywhere. So he was only playing either Ranjis or from India A. And this was in Jupiter, Rahu Jupiter Dasha, that he got chance to play in Indian team, and it did extremely well. For the first few days, he was playing quite well, or let's say for at least uh, he was made till captain. And when Saturn Dasha came, he was made the captain of the team. And since then, his performance has been quite good. extremely good, I would say. And in Mercury Dasha, he won the World Cup. So let us look at the coordinates. So Rahu Dasha was good. Rahu has 10, 11 here. So Rahu was good. Rahu was promising, but at the same time, Rahu won't give much of the results. So that under Dasha should change. When Mahadasha and Antardasha Lord are same, the results are not quite as expected. So when Jupiter Dasha came, he did well. He got into team. He maintained his position. He became a permanent wicket keeper for the team. And when Saturn Dasha came, his performance was better than before. He did well as a captain. Indian team was first in the ODI ranking. Then he did every other thing which was expected from an Indian captain. So everything went well. Only after, I would say, uh, after India won World Cup, he was his performance was not so good, or his performance was getting a bit vulnerable at that time. India dropped down from the ODI ranking. It was losing all other series overseas. So this has been a quite tough time for him. So, and one more thing, his Rahu Dasha will be ending in around 2020. So somewhere around 2019 he would be playing. It seems quite likely 1920. And when his Jupiter Dasha starts, so this Dasha is not correct, completely correct. So it should be some months earlier. I think I have to rectify the time of birth to some extent. And but if you look at the overall structure, it would be somewhat like this only. So somewhere around 19 he would leave, and after that his Jupiter Dasha will start. And looking at his chart, I don't think this person will have a life of retirement, or what we see with other cricketers, that they have retired and they have completely separated from the entire world, or they have become a commentator. But looking at him, I don't see that. Looking at his chart, I see that he has more chance of becoming a politician. So it is highly likely that in the dasha of Jupiter, after retiring, especially in 2023, he might get into he might be a part of some political parties, or might get active political life after that.
So what is the indicator for political life that you're looking at here?
So somewhat, so first of all, that you must uh, as I said earlier, seventh house is for house of others, or it actually represents how you will be talking or addressing the other person. And uh, fourth house is considered to be a house of crowd, people, audience, and janta. So Lord of fourth house in the ascendant, uh, conjoined with moon, and aspecting the seventh house. So first of all, Saturn has to be in a good position for uh, politics, because it is a major significator of politics. And when you see this Sun in such a good position, and Moon is also fourth from Sun, and Sun is 10th from Moon. This combination I have mainly seen for many of the IS officers, or people who hold a very high position in the government. So, making that into consideration, or keeping that in mind, I thought that he might get into politics quite likely, or he might be a part of any ministry. He might become head of any ministry, and that is quite likely, looking at this chart, directly or indirectly. But yeah, it does shows that he might hold a government position, and that is quite likely to happen in his Jupiter Dasha.
Also, one more question. So, what is you were talking about a good position for Saturn? So, what are the good positions? Like the ones in the houses that belong to Jupiter, or in the houses that belong to Saturn, or are
So
there some other factors as well?
for some of the planets I've explained earlier, for Jupiter I've explained, for Moon I've explained, Sun also. So Saturn I've found good in
Yes.
third house. For most of the entrepreneurs that I've seen so far, or most of the people who have established a business with their own effort, Saturn is placed in third house. Even my father had Saturn in third house. He actually started his own business from scratch, everything from the scratch, even hiring the office and or actually renting that office and working there, and setting up everything. And also in few of the charts I've seen after that, after my father's chart, there also have find Saturn in third house for most of the people who have started their journey from the scratch. So third house is very good for Saturn. It actually
Okay.
encourages you to put your effort or put your efforts in the direction that you're looking for, and to actually, succeed. Uh,
Okay.
Second, after that is the sixth house. Sixth house is very good for Saturn. It actually it helps you to overcome all your competitors. Your competitors won't find uh, comfortable arguing or competing with you. So Saturn is very good in this place, and also Saturn in the 11th house. Saturn in the 11th house is very good for your longevity. Saturn with this 10th aspect will be aspecting the house of longevity, uh, and it would actually delay your death. So these are the good positions that I have found
Okay.
for Saturn.
Okay.
Apart from that, I would say Saturn in house of this house is actually good for having a technical mind, technical bend of mind, or having good in application. And also Saturn in 10th house, uh, person will be very ambitious in his life. Saturn in 10th house for these people. And also because Saturn in the 10th house will be aspecting 7th house from the 10th aspect, this person will are expected to have late or delayed marriage, because they will be putting more of their efforts and ambition towards their success or career, and establishing their career takes a bit of time, and that time is actually results into delay in marriage. So for many of the people who have Saturn in 10th house, I've seen that their marriages are delayed, especially after the age of 28, 29. After that they get married.
Okay.
But from career perspective, if you see, Saturn in 10th house is very good. So let us move to one more chart that I have taken for celebrities. So this is chart of SRK, Shah Rukh Khan. And when you analyze the entire chart, uh, this is one thing I could say, that this person has a lot of potential. First thing, when you look at the chart, that this person cannot be so. Uh, One thing I've seen, that people who actually succeed quite effortlessly, and people who make every penny count in their life. So uh, the personality that he has is well oriented for making money, becoming successful every day, becoming better, or outperforming yourself the day before you were. So let us have an analysis of this chart. So first of all, the Lord of Ascendant that signifies yourself is Sun. Sun is debilitated or in the Neech Rashi. So Sun itself is weak. So you all remember, uh, when Shah Rukh Khan used to act in his 90s, so he used to fumble a lot in his speech, or he was not so fluent with all his speaking. The way he delivers his dialogue in this decade, in the last decade, and compared to what he was in the 90s, so you have seen a lot of transformation in his dialogue delivery. So by default, his dialogue delivery was not good because of this sun position. The sun is in the state of debilitation for that reason. So that has been taken care of later on because he worked on itself, working on that part which he was quite uncomfortable previously. So this is something which is called Nich Bhang Yoga. So what happens is if you have something which is not which is becoming an obstacle in your life, and if you have a niche bhang yoga of that planet, so what happens is that obstacle will always be there, but you will work out
Okay.
to remove that obstacle in your life. But people interpret it in a different way. So my interpretation is, if a planet is in niche rashi, that niche effect will always be there, the debilitation effect will always be there. But if a niche bhang yoga happens, then what actually is the consequences, that that the person will work towards removing that obstacle in his life and will succeed. So he has to put in extra effort for that, but towards the end he will succeed.
So
So
the
for
Nichbang Yoga is basically the Lord of the Ascendant in a debilitated position.
no. So in a debilitated position, that is a niche yoga. And what led to niche bhang? That is that first of all, this sun is in the this upacha or this house. If a planet, if it is generally said that if it is in this third house, sixth house, eighth house, or 12th house, and if it is a planet is niche, then niche bhang get cancelled. But I don't see that. Main reason here being the Lord where it gets exalted. So it gets exalted in Aries, and the Lord of Aries, Mars, is in a very good position. It is in own house, and it is forming a very good yoke. So in the Kendra house, and at the same time mm, in own house. So one thing I would say, that this person is very energetic, very energetic, and also there is an aspect between Mars and Saturn. So the person keeps on thinking, keeps on implementing something new. Also at the same time, when you see the position of Moon is surrounded by both the planets, two planets, Venus this side, Saturn this side. So there will be always something that will get into his mind to actually save him from a critical situation. So a person who has planets both side of his moon, I've seen this with them. Their personality would be so, or the skills would be so, that they would manage any situation anyhow. They would get away with anything that is there in the under the circumstances, and that skill that they acquire through. But only thing is that Jupiter and Moon is having a sixth eight relationship. So from Jupiter, if you count, Moon comes in the eighth house, and from Moon, if you count, Jupiter comes in the sixth house. So six eight relationship. So there will, so towards initial part of his life, there was a bit of struggle related to finance. So he was not having a proper channel of finance. So that was the reason. So this shows its effect. But later, when you see the same ability, the same position of Moon actually has given him more success in life. Also, Saturn in the seventh house. So this makes you a very good businessman at the same time. So let us discuss about his dasha and understand that what has been his flow of his life. So, mm, 92, around 94, this is the time when his DDLJ movie came up, and Jupiter is having coordinates of 10, 11. So 10 coordinates I have not discussed so far, but just in brief, I would say whenever you find 10, 11 coordinates together, 10, 11 is considered to be very good for your career. That is very good to achieve success in your career. So 10, 11.
Is that the case with all planets or just Jupiter and Saturn?
So the dasha that you're going through, if that promises 10, 11, then that dasha will be very good for you. If all the planets are having 10,
Okay.
11, then extremely good, you will be achieving something very good in life. So
Okay.
let us see this. So in Jupiter, so Jupiter is a good planet for him. It's placed in the 11th house, fifth lord and eighth lord. So eighth lord is all uh, thinking or deep thinking, deep analysis, and this is house of a buddhi. So the presence of mind, that sense of humor, or that timing that comes from fifth and eighth combination, and Jupiter is aspecting the fifth house again. So that timing and everything comes from Jupiter, and this was the ideal time of Jupiter Dasha having started. So when his Jupiter Dasha started, this is the time I think around somewhere his DDLJ movie released. So in 90s he was not doing that great, or he was one of the best actors, but he was doing quite decently. But when you look at the Dasha of around 2000 to 2008, when you look at them, so Sun is having 10, 11. Venus is also 10 is there, 11 is there, 6, 11 is there. So Venus is also in good condition, Sun is good, Moon is okay, Mars is good, and Rahu is good. So in a stretch, if you see from starting from Venus to Rahu, so starting from Venus till Rahu, this time he did very good in his career. Specifically, if I say starting from Venus. So this is the time I think when his movie Kalhona got released, and after that, each and every time, when you relate the movie Kalhona, so the only picture that comes to your mind was Shah Rukh Khan, and after that, mainly the 2002, he started gaining that fame. With every progressing day, he became more and more famous. He was becoming more, and that craze for SRK was there. And till the time in 2007, towards the late 2007, he did his movie Om Shanti Om. And till then, everything was going good. Each of his movies were doing great. But later on, after this, his Saturn Dasha started. And look how the situation changes. Saturn Dasha started. He bid for one of the IPL team, Kolkata Knight Riders. His team wasn't performing well. I think it was in 2008 when the first IPL season started, and his team poorly
It
performed.
was in 2007, I think.
2007, I think auction happened. In 2008, the first
Okay.
season happened, I think. So first season, his team performed extremely bad. Red Chillies Entertainment also wasn't doing that great. Choice of movie that he was making was quite substandard, and people were not enjoying the kind of movie that he's doing, especially his fans. Uh, but again, Red Chillies were making quite a lot of money out of it, but at the same time, his fans were quite dissatisfied with his choice of movie. Had lot of trouble. He made some statement regarding. So there was 9/11 attack, after which he made some statement. So after which Shiv Sena actually barred Pakistani players from playing in IPL. After which he made a statement that Pakistani players should be encouraged playing in IPL. After which he got some publicity stunt. It was actually a kind of publicity stunt which he did for his upcoming movie. Sorry, My Name is Khan. So that gets some of a kind of publicity for his movie, but at the same time, is actually caused him a lot of trouble at the same time. And also, we all know that incident that happened in Wankhede Stadium. So all these are happening in the Saturn Dasha itself. So everything, every part. So this is why it is said that uh, Saturn maintains a karmic balance in your life. So in Jupiter Dasha, you tend to enjoy everything good, everything goes smooth. But what all the things that you have not done correctly, or a part of your karmic debts are there that has to be repaid in the Saturn Dasha, and that's why people say that Saturn Dasha is generally not good. It is actually half the truth. It's actually reflection of what you are and what you actually think about and what your actions are. So for him, I think things will continue in the same way. There would be some relief after when he get into his son's dasha, that is from next year. Okay, so this is all for today. uh, Hope you have enjoyed it. And so one more suggestion actually, so when you go through these videos in the YouTube, you can actually comment in the comment section that what are the things that you'd like to be included in the session, or anything that would improve the session, or anything that you have liked about the
Okay.
art. So you can comment on that.
Okay.